I said to myself after my last 2 videos, which were both pretty critical, that I wasn't gonna do another video criticizing a celebrity. But I have no choice. This is too nuts and I just have to talk about it. Her entire career, Lizzo's branding has revolved around self-love, acceptance, and body positivity. But now, she's facing a lawsuit from former dancers at her own shows and is being accused of harassment, as well as racism and body shaming. This is all so bizarre because it's so contradictory to her branding and everything she seems to stand for. So let me break down the lawsuit.
Now them hoes tryna sue me.
The lawsuit comes from 3 of Lizzo's former dancers, Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noelle Rodriguez. As you can see, all 3 of them are bigger girls and physically similar to Lizzo, which is relevant to the story. Ariana and Crystal both started working for Lizzo after appearing on her reality show. Watch out for the big girls. Ariana in the past said that Lizzo is her role model, and that she applied to a casting call for the reality show after posting TikToks dancing to Lizzo in 2020. She ended up working with Lizzo after being on the Emmy award-winning show, and back in early 2022, she said, "Lizzo is the same person in real life that she is on social media and in the media. She is just such a genuine, kind-hearted person, and I love working with her." Crystal, who is 26, has a similar story. Crystal also applied for Lizzo's reality show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, but didn't finish the show. Because Lizzo was so impressed with her, she hired her as a backing dancer straight away. From what I can gather, she never openly praised Lizzo the same way Ariana did, who is a huge Lizzo fan. But Crystal seemed to enjoy the experience of traveling and being a professional dancer. Finally, Noelle Rodriguez, who is 25, started working for Lizzo after being hired as a backup dancer for her Rumors music video. And Noelle is the most accomplished dancer of the bunch. She has appeared in Euphoria, ads for Skims, ads for Gap, and has performed with Janet Jackson and Beyoncé at Beychella. This all kind of started with Noelle. In May this year, she posted a cryptic Instagram story saying, "It brings me peace to be at a point in my career where I can say no to disrespect. I stand strong in walking away from spaces that don't serve me, and more importantly, don't deserve me. My talent, my character and reputation speaks volumes on its own. Know your worth and never be afraid to use your voice. Stand up for what's right regardless of who is committing the wrong. Excited for what's to come." And to be honest, it was #about-damn-time. People immediately speculated that something was going on between her and Lizzo, since the "about damn time" hashtag isn't exactly subtle, but it's only now coming to light. On Tuesday, these 3 dancers filed a civil lawsuit against Lizzo and her production company, claiming that on tour, they were subjected to a hostile working environment which included sexual harassment, racism, religious discrimination, and body shaming. One of the biggest accusations revolves around when Lizzo's tour went to Amsterdam. They allege that Lizzo pressured them to attend a sex show in the red light district. The lawsuit says, Lizzo began inviting cast members to take turns touching the nude performers, catching dildos launched from the performers' vaginas, and eating bananas protruding from the performers' vaginas. Lizzo then turned her attention to Ariana and began pressuring Ariana to touch the breasts of one of the nude women performing at the club. The lawsuit continues saying that Lizzo started a chant, encouraging Ariana to touch the naked performer, and that Ariana eventually did it, but says in the lawsuit that she felt embarrassed and forced to do it. And if this is true, this is totally unacceptable. Forcing someone to touch someone's naked body without their consent is straight up criminal. And the lawsuit alleges that after Ariana reluctantly did this, and was clearly uncomfortable with it, Lizzo and her team laughed. Some of the other allegations also involve Ariana's relationship with Lizzo. She alleges that at the South by Southwest Music Festival, Lizzo pointed out that Ariana had gained weight, and it wasn't necessarily said in a negative way, but that later Lizzo confronted her again, saying that she seemed less bubbly and energetic than she used to. And Ariana alleges that it was implied that her weight gain was the problem. Although she says that Lizzo never explicitly referenced her weight, she says it was so heavily implied that she felt she needed to explain her weight gain and disclose intimate personal details about her life in order to keep her job. Another huge chunk of the lawsuit revolves around Lizzo's dance team captain, Shirlene Quigley, who is a Christian and apparently forced her religious beliefs on the dancers. They allege that there was a confrontation between Shirlene and Noelle, with Shirlene accusing her of being a non-believer, and that there was tension between Shirlene and Ariana because Shirlene found out that Ariana was a virgin, and proceeded to repeatedly talk about it and bring it up, even though it's obviously none of her business. They also say that although Shirlene was the pushiest about religion, Lizzo's entire team acted similarly. Shirlene has been the only one of the accused to respond so far. She posted this bizarre Instagram story. She's smiling the whole time and praising God and saying she's grateful for her life and her family. And listen, I'm a Christian too. I get it. But girlie, this is not really the point. You're being accused of acting like a total psycho and you're just gonna ignore it? It is interesting that she isn't denying it either, but who knows what's even going on with her. There are a bunch of other accusations of a toxic and hostile work environment, including Ariana and Crystal saying that the tour bus drivers would play explicit songs and make sexual comments that made them both incredibly uncomfortable and even fear for their safety. One example they cite is when a dancer allegedly accidentally brushed against a male tour bus driver, and he proceeded to make sexual comments to her about it. They claim that they reported it to Lizzo's team and that they did nothing about it. All three dancers also claim that Lizzo's team mistreated black dancers, frequently calling them lazy, unprofessional, and saying they had bad attitudes, which they say was never a criticism directed at non-black dancers. Another claim is that Lizzo repeatedly accused the dancers of drinking before shows, which they say is untrue, and that she forced them to re-audition to prove that they deserved to stay on the tour. The lawsuit says that the audition went on for hours relentlessly with no bathroom breaks, with Ariana saying she eventually lost control of her bladder during the audition. And one of the most concerning accusations, in my opinion, is that following all of this alleged mistreatment, Ariana secretly recorded a meeting so she had evidence of what was going on. And that when Lizzo found out, she fired her on the spot. Noelle alleges that she personally confronted Lizzo about Ariana being fired and threatened to resign if Lizzo insisted on getting rid of Ariana, that Lizzo aggressively approached Noelle with balled-up fists. Noelle says in the lawsuit that Lizzo intended to hit her and was about to punch her, but another dancer intervened and restrained Lizzo, preventing her from hitting Noelle. And this is just nuts because it's so far from the image Lizzo publicly portrays. Obviously, this lawsuit has just been filed. As of right now, Lizzo and her team have not issued a response. But since this is a legal matter, they're probably discussing with lawyers exactly what to say and when. This will definitely be interesting to follow and see what happens. Celebrities have already started distancing themselves from Lizzo, with Beyoncé leaving her name out of Break My Soul at her show last night. We don't know exactly what the truth is right now, but the fact that there are at least 3 dancers corroborating each other's stories doesn't look great. It will definitely be interesting to see whether other dancers or people who have worked with Lizzo speak out, but right now it's just them. Assuming that this is all true, I think this just backs up the point that people really need to stop with the parasocial celebrity relationships and celebrity worship. Obviously, this contradicts Lizzo's branding completely, which is a shock, but there are already some people responding saying, "No, I don't think she would do this." And I think some of you need to accept the reality that you don't know her. I think we need to realize that every single celebrity is playing a persona, every one of them. And that doesn't necessarily mean playing a character, but every one of them will be selective with what aspects of their personality they hide, what aspects they show, what aspects they exaggerate. Just because something is part of someone's image and branding doesn't make it true. Now with Lizzo, it's a whole different story. This isn't just her maybe being a little mean when she portrays herself as lovely, like the Ellen scandal. Some of these allegations are actual crimes. The lawsuit isn't a criminal one, so it's not like anyone's going to be facing jail time for any of this. But if this is true, it will be interesting to see what long-term impact this has on Lizzo's career and reputation, if any. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.